my problem with the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's a lot of guys in that locker room with something to say, and they jump in front of these microphones, and they say all of these different things, and not one thing that they say is in the interest of the team trying to move forward and win football games. Like, if you're Ben Roethlisberger, say less and do more. I'm going to need for you not to throw the ball to the other team. But you coming back and saying, okay, James Conner shouldn't just be comfortable relegated to the bench when Le'Veon Bell gets back. Like, I understand you want to have competition, but this is the same guy that had an issue with the organization using a third-round pick to take Mason Rudolph out of Oklahoma State. Like, so you want competition at every position except for your position. Like, in what world does that make sense? Like, I don't understand why Ben Roethlisberger doesn't take his position as the quarterback on a team that has the talent to be competitive more seriously. Because he's the one that should be responsible for setting the tone for this team and setting the agenda, and he doesn't consistently do that. He just creates distractions.
Because he's a diva quarterback. We don't use that term.
No, no. That's
diva,
man, that's a four-letter word.
Diva wide receiver.
I mean, it actually is.
Right, correct. Euphemistically as well. Well done, sir. I mean, he's a diva quarterback. He likes people talking about him. Yeah. He doesn't have to do this weekly interview. Tom Brady does the same weekly interview in Boston. And what's the last time we had some Tom Brady controversy? The only controversy is when the people interviewing him say something out of bounds and he hangs up on them.
When was the last time you heard Tom Brady talk about an injury, give you an injury report on Thursday night?
On this interview, I listened to this thing in full. He unprompted, when he's asked about missing some passes, says, I'm having a bit of an elbow issue. And then when they follow up on it, he's like, oh, I don't want to talk about my elbow issue. Okay, well, you brought it up. He does this where he says, I will go to the principal's office and tell them when Le'Veon Bell gets back, we need James Conner to still be involved. We need more of James Conner, which, I mean, unless you're saying we're going to throw the ball less, that is taking carries and touches and potential away from Le'Veon Bell. And then as a little cherry on the sundae, he said, yeah, I talked to Antonio Brown about how he's running his routes. Because when he doesn't run them just straight forward, I forgot the exact terminology he used. He basically said...
He implied he was like goofing around a little bit.
Goofing around with his routes.
Yeah, putting a little too much character into it.
Right, that it's harder for him with the pass. But just coincidentally, this morning, you were drawing out a route that you used to run. That maybe to an untrained eye might have looked like you were goofing around, but there was a reason for it, right?
Yes.
And I'm guessing Antonio Brown knows exactly how to run damn routes. Dude's 5'10" and maybe the best wide receiver in football. He didn't get there he got there by knowing every technical issue of football. Big Ben likes us talking about him. And Big Ben likes to insert himself in controversy. You brought it up yesterday, see? The whole anthem thing last year, still rubs me the wrong way. Like, you had one player on the team that had legitimate reason that even if the team agreed, we're all going to stay in the locker room, you have one guy the only active NFL player that's a veteran, saying, man, maybe I agreed to it, something came over me, and then Big Ben piggybacks on that? And we last year, they lose their biggest game of the year, they lose. On a Big Ben interception, I wanted to spike the ball. Why don't we quarterback sneak more? Like, it's a diva quarterback. Yeah,
when I was in Minnesota, and I was very, very close with the general manager, I was very, very close with the head coach and Denny Green, front office, and they used to always run stuff past me all the time. Now, I used to be very, very selective as far as the things I told them because I just knew I was going to be held accountable for the information that I gave them. And I got to live with these guys in the locker room. So these people are coming to me in confidence. And do you know how many times that they ask me, hey, what about this player, offense and defense? What about this defensive back? I've been like, oh, man, the guy's got some skill. I believe he's better at a bump and run player than playing off. I believe he could be a good fit for us. You know, maybe we need to get him some more playing time. But I can't suggest them that this guy should be in front of the guys who are starting. Because you know what, the guys who are starting, you know what they say? Hey, man, Chris, I thought you was about us. So you got a guy that's taking my spot now. We used to have guys like when Robert Smith, when he emerged on the scene, Denny Green asked me, Chris, what do you think about him? I said, we need to integrate him into the offense slowly. But he is a big play waiting to happen. We got to get some snaps for him. Our starting tailback at that time, man, I got to be careful when I say stuff like that. Randy Moss, Chris, what you think? Coach, he got to be on the field. Now, me and Jake Reed had broke the NFL record for 1,000-yard receivers. Not 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years, but 4 years. So when Randy Moss came into the locker room, Jake Reed already knew that, man, this ain't going to be good for me. So every interview I did, I had to be careful Jake's reading it. Jake's seeing that. I had to be careful what I said about Randy Moss, how good he was, because he was going to be taking someone else's spot who I was supporting, and I'm also supporting this guy getting less reps. So, man, leadership is tough. I made a lot of mistakes doing stuff like this, but I learned over the years, hey, man, say less. All right? It's more effective than saying more when it's dealing with people and their playing time. Playing time affects money. So now you're taking money out of my pocket, Ben. It's hard for me and you to see eye to eye.
And last time I checked, Big Ben gets paid to operate the offense. He doesn't get paid to give unsolicited personnel advice to the coach and to the general manager. And that's kind of what it feels like with him stepping out there and saying this about James Conner.
Maybe, but Mike Tomlin seems to not care as long as the team's still winning. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers way. You got something to say.
What's Mike Tomlin supposed to do?
So that's my question. If no one's supposed to do anything, if it's not the head coach's job and the players aren't going to call him out on it, this is what they do. What is anyone supposed to do about it?
Well, which is why it's such, to whom much is given, much is expected. Big Ben's the most powerful person, certainly the most powerful player, and arguably the most powerful person that doesn't have Rooney attached to their name in the franchise. He's won 2 Super Bowls. He's got guaranteed money. He's their quarterback.
Still get carte blanche to do anything and say anything.
Okay,
so you don't think the head coach could just say one thing?
Okay, all right, just relax. For 1 second, for us to think Mike Tomlin is not saying something, we're wrong in doing that. So everything that happens in Pittsburgh, we blame it on Mike Tomlin. It's just like, I mean, it's the natural progression. Well, the quarterback's saying something. Well, what about the coach? Well, we're falling into the same trap that everyone else in Pittsburgh's doing. What did the head coach say for Odell Beckham? He said, if you guys got questions, go ask the player. When you have guaranteed money, these are grown guys. They've been doing press conferences for years. You can only control them. So what are you going to do? Bench him?
Well, that's the thing. Maybe he did say something to him privately.
I'm sure he said something to him.
Like Shermer said, I'm not going to give you the pound of flesh publicly. That would make me small instead of strong. I addressed it with him individually. Like Big Ben, you said give him carte blanche. He kind of has it.
No, I was saying that sarcastically. No. He's basically been given carte blanche.
Well, I think that is the
What about
life
Aaron
of
Rodgers?
Right.
What about Eli Manning? What about Phillip Rivers? What about Matty Ice? What about Drew Brees?
None of them are talking the way.
But that's not the head coach's fault. That's his fault. You think
So my question is there anyone that could keep him in check? What do you do about it?
Listen,
nothing.
Wait, Jenna, first of all, there is no one in the NFL that can keep anyone in check. Bill Belichick can't keep Tom Brady. When Tom Brady wants to say something, you know what he does? He says something. You know what? He does a documentary. Yeah, you guys follow my life around because that guy's not going to let you. I'm going to do it my way. So there is no, when you give a guy $50 million, $70 million guaranteed, you know what you're going to get? Man, you're going to get whatever that dude wants. So controlling him that's a little strong. You tried to steer. We try to steer their conversations, but trying to control them, that's not going to happen.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.